This podcast is on metallic bonding. It's actually very short. How atoms are held together in a solid determines the properties of that solid. So what is it about metallic bonding that can account for the properties of metals? Well, we believe it's that metals hold on to their valence electrons quite weakly. And you want to think of them as sort of positive ions floating in a sea of mobile electrons. The electrons, you see, then are free to move through the solid so that it can conduct electricity. Well, metals are also quite malleable. They can be hammered into shape. They can be bent. Here's a blacksmith working. They're also said to be ductile. And yes, I know, rather poor chemistry joke. Ductility means you can draw them out into long, thin wires. And again, this is because of the mobile valence electrons. Think of the malleability as you put the force on the metal and the electrons move and the positive things move because they're sort of free to move. The electrons allow those positive ions to slide by each other, but the attraction is maintained. A better way to think about it is to look at the orbitals on the metals. We have, in the case of magnesium, some S and P electrons that are close to the nucleus, and so they're not able to move. They're pretty well held. They're the electrons that are present in the magnesium 2+ ion. But in the 3s and the 3p orbitals, we have both filled molecular orbitals and empty orbitals. And so what you want to think of is that the electrons in these energy levels can travel freely through the crystal, meaning the bonding holding all of the magnesium atoms together is because of this electron C, the C existing in the empty molecular orbitals. So because of this, metals are conductors of electricity, and they're malleable because the bonds are quite flexible. And if you think of the transition metals, where you have the addition of the D and possibly even F orbitals, the possibility of a lot of electrons available to move would explain to some sense why the metals on the far right of the transition element series, like copper and silver and gold, are so malleable and also are such excellent conductors of electricity.